Greetings to y'all once again. Greetings to y'all. You know, I've already given you the coverage, the update on the DStv Premiership, right? And this weekend we are looking forward to calling Knockout Cup action, semi-final action, which both semi-final clashes will be taking place at the Moses Mabhida Stadium in Durban, South Africa, right? But look, before we go there, right? Let's go to Europe. UEFA Champions League. Yeah, UEFA Champions League at its best. UEFA Champions League at its best. So far, the teams that have qualified already, there are 4 Spanish teams that have already qualified, right? Obviously, Barcelona, Real Madrid, Atletico Madrid, right? Oh, I'm lying. 3. I meant to say 3 Spanish teams. Sevilla, they stand no chance of qualifying for the next round. You understand? So they lost after they were in cruise control of the game. They lost to PSV of the Netherlands by 3-2 at home. You understand? They were in cruise control. Their chances of making it to the Champions League could have been enhanced. Or I'm actually mistaken once again. It's actually 4. Like I said, I was correct at first. 4 Spanish teams have qualified. Barcelona, obviously, Real Madrid, obviously, Atletico Madrid, obviously, as well as Real Sociedad. English Premier League clubs that have qualified is Arsenal, Manchester City. Only Arsenal and Manchester City so far. And then from the Netherlands, we wait to see. But they stand a chance of qualifying. PSV, as well as Feyenoord, they still do stand a chance of qualifying. They do. By all means. PSV, they stand a chance of qualifying. Whereas Feyenoord, they don't stand a chance of qualifying at all. Unfortunately. You understand? But then they are secured a Europa League spot. Feyenoord. Right? Feyenoord is secured a Europa League spot. From Germany, Borussia Dortmund and Bayern Munich secure qualification to the next round of the Champions League comfortably. Whereas Union Berlin stand no chance of going to the next round. Leipzig as well have progressed to the Champions League knockout stages. From Italy, the only Italian club that has qualified so far is Inter Milan, the finalists from last season. The finalists. They've qualified comfortably. Alongside, it's a tie between them and Real Sociedad. They both tied up on 11 points. But due to the fact that Real Sociedad has got a better goal difference, they're at top of the group. So, yeah, man, it's interesting. This season of the UEFA Champions League is just crazy, man. It's crazy. It has always been crazy. UEFA Champions League matches have been classic. It's always been filled with classics. It has always been filled with groundbreaking, football. It has always been historic. History has always been broken in Champions League games. You understand? History has always been made in all Champions League matches. Whether it's group stages, whether it's knockout stages. There's always something new that will happen. In terms of a historic milestone being achieved by a club. Whether it's a player, whether it's a manager, whether it's, whatever the case may be. There's always historic milestones being achieved. And that's what we saw in this week. So we'll get back to that. We'll get back to that later. Right now, I want us to talk about the games. I want us to talk about the results. I want us to talk about, the action. It was just action-packed. Excuse me for my laughter. Excuse me for the fact that, it's very exciting. It gives me goosebumps. You understand? It just gives me goosebumps. Yes, the favorites that are the favorites to win this season's UEFA Champions League obviously is Real Madrid, right? The kings of Europe, yes. The 14-time champions. Obviously, Manchester City. Obviously, Bayern Munich. And Inter Milan, which I know a lot of people are overlooking Inter Milan, but yes, they are the favorites. Whereas with Barcelona, Barcelona have got their own mentality, in terms of like winning Champions League, winning in the Champions League. But in many seasons, whereas when odds or have been against them, they haven't really gone past. That they haven't really exceeded expectations. Because quite often when Barcelona are actually favorites, when they are amongst the favorites to actually win the UEFA Champions League, they don't deliver because they've had several opportunities to do so, like the 2018-2019 season. They were in cruise control. They were supposed to have won the Champions League that season, but because of poor defending in the second leg against Liverpool, that was a crazy encounter at Anfield. Liverpool coming from a 3-0 aggregate to winning the game 4-0 against Blaugrana, and that was Blaugrana. That was in their hands, man. It was in their hands. They messed up the opportunity. Even when that historic comeback against PSG, you would immediately assume that Barca will go on all the way to win the Champions League, and they didn't do so. So whenever they've been the favorites, they sometimes tend not to deliver, and that's why I wouldn't really put them amongst the favorites. Yes, they've got the potential. Yes, historically, yes, they're still a big club. They're still a club with great players on their squad. But looking at their current performance this season, and looking at the fact that they haven't performed well in Europe for the past 2 years, post the time when Lionel Messi departed Barcelona, they haven't really been clinical in Europe. They haven't performed very well. You understand? Even last time when they made it to the Champions League knockout stages, they were knocked out. Crazy, man. They were knocked out by 8-2 against Bayern Munich. That was a crazy encounter. 8-2. 8-2 at home to Bayern Munich. It was during the pandemic, and that was crazy. And then last time before that, they lost the last 16 to PSG by 5-2 on aggregate, losing 4-1 at home with that brilliant Kylian Mbappe hat-trick. And then they went on to draw 1-1 with PSG at the Parc des Princes. So Barca have got a lot of work to do if they are to be recognized as the favorites to go all the way. You understand? They've got a lot of work to do. They still have a lot of level of improvement. As you look back, the 2020-2021 season, Barcelona, I think that was their worst season, but they still managed to clinch silverware by winning the Copa del Rey. In the Champions League, they made it to the last 16 and they were knocked out by PSG. PSG went on to make it to the semi-finals, in which they were knocked out by Man City. That season, Chelsea ironically won the Champions League, and nobody fancied Chelsea. So yeah, but let's go back. So let's go to Group H, the games that took place on Tuesday, the 28th of November, 2023. Let's go back to the games that took place on Tuesday. Right, Blaugrana, that was a must-win game for them. Right. Let us start with Shakhtar Donetsk. Let's go to Donetsk in Ukraine. Shakhtar Donetsk. Their hopes of qualifying for the knockout stages are there. I mean, they won 1-0 against Antwerp of Belgium. The Belgians, they finding this competition very overwhelming, because they've lost all their games. They've lost all 5 of their matches now. They're yet to even register a single point. In this Champions League season. Yes, they still new. Yes, it's their debut season. Yes, it's their maiden season. So let us take it easy on them. Let us not be too harsh on them. Yes, they just need more experience. They just need more experience at playing at this highest level. Because this is the highest level of club football. Playing at Champions League level is the highest level of club football. So yeah, we cannot be too harsh on them. We cannot put them under unnecessary pressure. So like I said, yes, Shakhtar winning by a 0-0. Mikola Medvedenko getting the only goal. That was the only goal, scoring from a headed goal in the opening minutes of the game. You understand? That was from the opening minutes of the game. It was a great free kick taken, great cross, and it was made by him to give the Ukraine side the 1-0 lead and enhancing their chances of qualifying for the next round. Because now Shakhtar Donetsk and FC Porto are tied on 9 points in Group H. So it's between them. It's between them. They only separated by goal difference. That's it. They only separated by goal difference. Porto, you understand, their goal difference is like 5, and then Shakhtar Donetsk are on 0 goal difference, right? But in order for Shakhtar, so it's a must-win game for Shakhtar. Porto only need a draw going into the last game. Porto only need a draw against Shakhtar Donetsk. Donetsk, it's a must-win game for them. So a draw for Porto will be enough to see them go through to the next round of the Champions League. The 2004 champions, right? The 2004 champions, all they just need is a draw. And then for Shakhtar Donetsk, in order for them to progress to the knockout stages, they need victory. They need nothing less than victory. So all to play for between the two clubs. Barca, safely, comfortably progressing to the next round. Of course, 12 points. They've only lost 1 game. They're the group winners. All they just need, I guess, let's say, it's too early to say that they're the group winners, right? Considering the fact that, yes, Shakhtar and Porto have got 9 points each, and Barcelona are on 12 points. So, yes, if you look at that pattern, right, Barcelona only need a draw in their next game. You understand? To emerge as group winners. And obviously, it's going to be an easy victory for them. Yes, away to Antwerp. I don't think Barca will let that slip. I'm sure they would love to win this group and top the table. You understand? So that they can get an easy draw. Remember, if you top your group, you get an easy draw. You won't be, I guess you won't be tasked to play against a very, very tough opponent in the early stages of the knockout, round. You understand? So, yes, obviously, Blaugrana, the 5-time champions, would love to finish top of their group. And their next game is at Antwerp. They only need a draw to do so. Although, victory is very certain for them. Victory is certain. And yes, let's talk about their game against Porto. So, for the fact that Shakhtar won their game, right? This game between FC Barcelona against FC Porto was a must-win game for Barca. A must-win game for Xavi's men. It was a must-win game. No negotiations whatsoever. It was a must-win game. So yeah, let's talk about the game. Let's get straight into it. Barcelona, they played very well. Of course, they dominated the ball. They dominated possession. Yes, they had so much of the ball, right? They created few chances. Yes, Rafinha forcing a save from the Porto goalkeeper several times. As well as we saw some great interchanging play from Blaugrana in the first opening 20 to 25 minutes. They were obviously the team that, was expected to dominate the ball quite often. But yet again, Porto showed signs. They were starting to show signs. There were a lot of cracks. They had a goal disallowed through offside. Porto had a goal disallowed because of offside. But eventually, that was a sign. That was a warning sign for Barcelona. That if they were not careful, they were going to lose. Porto would hurt them if they are not careful. And that's exactly what happened. Brazilian winger, Pepe, getting the goal, the first goal of the game in the 30th minute. A lot of people, when they would think Pepe, they would think that the legendary Pepe, the Portuguese Pepe, the defender. Imagine how ironic that would have been had Pepe scored that goal, the former Real Madrid defender. Imagine if it was him who scored that goal. That would be all over the headlines. That would be, it would be all over the headlines. But yes, the Brazilian Pepe, the winger, putting Porto ahead in the 30th minute. And again, wonderful response by Blaugrana. Wonderful response. A great solo effort by João Cancelo, dribbling past João Mario, his namesake. A great effort, like João Cancelo literally dribbled past João Mario of FC Porto and slotted the ball, curled it nicely. He curled it properly. That was a, world-class finish. A world-class finish by João Cancelo. World-class finish. A great curler, indeed, to put the game on level pegging. Going into the halftime break, it was 1-1. And it did ease the nerves of the Barca players as well as the fans. You understand? Because defeat would not help Barcelona's cause at all. It would not help their cause at all. So yeah, it cooled their nerves down, and that was an immediate response that was required from them. So again, second half, same old Barcelona. João Felix, he nearly scored the goal of the season, man. That was a great shot from range, a rocket. But it was unlucky for him. It hit the crossbar. Unlucky for João Felix, man. That would have been the goal of the season. That was a rocket effort. A rocket. That would have been the goal of the season. I repeat. Unfortunately, he was unlucky. It hit the crossbar. He missed a couple of opportunities. Yes, here and there. He did miss a sitter. An opportunity that you would put your money on him to parry, to put that in the back of the net. And he didn't do so. But luckily, he did redeem himself. Great combination between the two Portuguese men, João Cancelo and João Felix. Great combination by them. Both of them. João Felix slotting the ball coolly into the back of the net early second half in the 52nd minute. You understand? To seal victory for Barcelona. From that point onwards, Barcelona were able to play comfortably, to play their usual brand of football, the way they often play. And that was a great goal for them. You understand? Much needed 3 points for them. It relieves the pressure of Xavi. It relieves the pressure of the players. And it still enhances their chances of maybe even winning the Champions League for a sixth time. But yes, remember right now, that is too unrealistic. They haven't played in the knockout stages of the Champions League for the past 2 seasons. So yeah, it's too unrealistic for them. As well as, let's say, Barca, in order for them to achieve great success in this season, the best thing that they can do is just reach the quarterfinals. That should be the goal. But yes, I'm saying that the goal should be go on to win the trophy. That should be the goal. But yes, it's kind of unrealistic considering their performance this season, how they've performed in La Liga, even in the Champions League this season. They haven't really been at their best. Yes, they've gotten the results, they've gotten, those important victories, but they've been far from convincing, in my opinion. It's not the Barcelona style of play that we normally used to. Yes, for the fact that Gavi will be out for the entire season, they still have a lot of options in that midfield. There's a lot of firepower. Frankie de Jong, Oriol Romeo, you still have Pedri. So there's still Gundogan as well. There's still a couple of options, even in attack. So yeah, they do still stand a chance, but a bit unrealistic though. But hopefully they can pull off an upset. They can surprise us. Let's go to Group G. Pep Guardiola. Pep Guardiola. There's something special about this guy, man. There's something really special about this guy. Something very special about this guy, Pep Guardiola. Yes, he's not often given the credit. Maybe people will say that he's got the players, or others would argue they say he's got all the players, or others will say this, But there's something really special about Pep Guardiola. This guy is just a philosopher in his own, regard. He's just a philosopher in his own right as well. He's a philosopher. For him turning the game around like that, when all odds were against him, it's just crazy. Going on to even win the game, it's just, man, it's pure madness, man. It's just pure madness, man, pure madness. That's why Champions League has been so beautiful this season, man. So beautiful. City were on the back foot in the first half. They were on the back foot. Leipzig, they surprised all of us, leading by 2-0 in the first, half. In the 13th minute of the game, Lois Openda, great player, center forward, striker. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of big clubs around Europe would be lurking for this man's signature, would be fighting, going toe-to-toe for this boy's signature. Lois Openda getting the first goal in the 13th minute. Silence in the Etihad. Again, doing it in the 33rd minute of the game to make it 2-0. That was just with the cold celebration, with the coldest of celebration, the coldest, to silence the Etihad. You thought it was done and dusted. Hey. And then guess what happened? I don't know what happened in halftime. I would like to know what Pep said to the players. I would love to know what he said to the players. I would love to understand what is it that Pep possesses that, out of nowhere he can just literally change everything. Literally change everything out of nothing. Clearly, 2-0 at home. You understand? Halftime. Yes, I understand comebacks are important, but let's give some credit to Pep Guardiola. Because Man City didn't have their foot on the pedal in that first half at all. They did not have their foot on the pedal at all. Yes, they had much of the ball as expected, but no. That was not the Man City we all know. That's not the Man City that, we are all used to seeing. Playing that enterprising football, being able to create those chances, making sure that the opposition does not even have the slightest of smells at goal. But that's what we saw. They went into the halftime break 2-0 down. And then they came back with fire and force. Erling Haaland breaking history again. Erling Haaland breaking history again. We'll get back to the history-breaking moments. Let's just talk about the game. Breaking records again. Erling Haaland scoring in the 54th minute of the game. And then who else? Guess who else scored the second goal? Phil Foden. Oh, what a genius, man. He's just a marvel to watch. Sending the game at 2-2. And then guess who scored? The winning goal. On form, on song. Julian Alvarez, the Argentine, the World Cup winner, Julian Alvarez. Ay, what a player, what a team, what a coach. Simple as that. I've got no further words to describe this Man City club, this Man City team. They clearly have what it takes to defend their crown. They clearly do have what it takes. And in my opinion, I believe they will. They clearly have got it. They've got what it takes. They do. Yeah, man. 100% record so far. They've won all 5 of their games. Man City. They've won all 5 of their games. 15 points, sitting comfortably at the top. They're group winners of Group G. So they've qualified for the Champions League again. For the Champions League knockout stages. Alongside Leipzig with 9 points. Leipzig finishing second. With a game to go. Both teams have a game in hand. But then they've both qualified. So it's only young boys. Young boys, as well as Crvena. Crvena of Serbia. Crvena of Serbia. Unfortunately, Crvena, their European adventure comes to an end. They stand no chance of even qualifying for Europa League. They stand no chance of qualifying for the knockout stages of the Champions League this season. So their European adventure is over. Their 2-0 defeat away to Young Boys signaled their end to their European adventure. Young Boys winning by 2-0 at home. Serbian defender Kosta Nedeljovic scoring the own goal in the first half. And then obviously the game was wrapped by the 29th minute. Lewin Blum scoring the second goal. Lewis Blum scoring the second goal for Young Boys, putting their game beyond any reasonable doubt. So that's Group G. Let's go to Group F. Let's do this. Yeah, we resume. Sorry for the long delay. Yeah, let's go to Group F. This was the group of death. This is the group of death, guys. The group of death. The one that we were all looking forward to. The exciting one. Borussia Dortmund, Paris Saint-Germain, Newcastle United, AC Milan. 7-time winners AC Milan. Right? The group of death. Okay. So coming into this one, Newcastle hadn't participated in the Champions League for 20 years. AC Milan have won this 7 times. Borussia Dortmund are three-time finalists, right? They last won this crown in 1996. Borussia Dortmund, they last won the Champions League in 1996. They made it to the finals in 2013, only losing out to their German rivals Bayern Munich, right? PSG have only made it to the finals once in 2020, losing out to again Bayern Munich. Okay, so it provided so much excitement, so much controversy, so much, enticement again, so much, history-breaking records, history-breaking performances, history-breaking matches. When I say that, I'm just referring to that 4-1, 5-1 victory of Newcastle against PSG at St. James's Park. For the fact that they almost did a double over Paris Saint-Germain is historical, is groundbreaking. You understand? And for the fact that right now, you're talking about the fact that Borussia Dortmund are now cruising to the next round, right? With the 3-1 victory at the San Siro against last season's semi-finalist AC Milan, right? So yeah, coming into this one, all of us hoped, we all wanted AC Milan to win the game, but it wasn't to be. They lost 3-1, right? Borussia Dortmund nearly had the worst possible start to the game. A great save by Gregor Kobel. Great save by Gregor Kobel, the Borussia Dortmund goalkeeper. Great save by him. Gregor Kobel, he saved Borussia Dortmund's blushes. He saved their blushes. I mean, that was a clear handball by Nicole Schlotterbeck. I meant to say Nicole Schlotterbeck. That was a clear handball by the Borussia Dortmund defender, and a great save by Gregor Kobel from Olivier Giroud's penalty was saved by Gregor Kobel. Great save by the Borussia Dortmund goalkeeper, saving the blushes of Borussia Dortmund. And then on the other end, Borussia Dortmund got a penalty of their own. Borussia Dortmund got a penalty of their own. You understand? After 19-year-old, the brilliant 19-year-old. Oh, there's so many exciting players that I'm watching out here that are making their mark, at this club, at the highest level of football. Jamie Bynoe Gibbs. Jamie Bynoe Gittens. Jamie Bynoe Gittens. What a player, man. That was a great run from him, forcing a penalty for Borussia Dortmund. Marco Reus. Who else but Marco Reus? I'm so happy for him. He has been through so much trials and tribulations throughout his career. You understand? And I'm so happy for him. I just hope this could be his moment. In the Champions League this season. The captain, showing Olivier Giroud how it's done at the other end of the pitch, putting the ball into the back of the net from the penalty spot. Great goal, great penalty. And in her, man of the moment, the 19-year-old, Bynoe Gittens. Bynoe Gittens, putting the ball into the back of the net. That was a great team goal by Borussia Dortmund. Great team goal from them, right? But before we go there, AC Milan did get the equalizer straight before halftime. 8 minutes before the break, they got their equalizer. Nigerian winger Semi Chukwueze on the rebounded effort from a Christian Pulisic shot, which was saved by Kobel, and then obviously from a rebounded effort, the Nigerian winger scoring his first goal for the Rossoneri, bringing the scores at level to 1-1. And then we saw second half, obviously Bynoe Gittens getting his first goal for Borussia Dortmund in the Champions League, and what a way to get it at the San Siro, against the 7-time champions. Wow, what a way to get it. What a way to get your first goal for BVB, especially in the Champions League. What a way. I mean, that was the winning goal. Great team goal from Borussia Dortmund. And then we saw the game was sealed. Fuck. My leg. Fuck. Okay, game was sealed. Just 20 minutes from time. Karim Adeyemi getting the third goal. Crucial goal, putting the game beyond any reasonable doubt. There was no way back for the Rossoneri. They've been very woeful this season, the Rossoneri. Yes, they find themselves still languishing in third place of the Serie A, but this is far beneath their best performance. And it's a must-win game for them at St. James's Park. It's a must-win game. It's a must-win game for all three teams. Newcastle, Paris Saint-Germain, as well as AC Milan. It's a must-win game for them. All three clubs need to win their game. All three clubs. Borussia Dortmund safely through to the next round. Group winners. Group winners. Congratulations to them. BVB. Borussia Dortmund. Wow. And then let's go. The Park the Princess. The Park the Princess. VAR. I want us to talk about VAR. VAR. No, that was just a poor decision. That was not a penalty at all. Yes, it did hit his hand. It did hit his hand, but that was not a penalty at all. And the referee did so well throughout the game. Yes, score was 1-1, PSG 1, Newcastle United 1. You understand? Great goal, great team work, great team goal by Newcastle United in the first half. In the 14th minute, the Swedish striker Alexander Isak scoring again. You know, what a brilliant goal, man. What a wonderfully worked goal to put the Magpies ahead at the Parc des Princes. This would have been very historic. It would have been a historic victory. Had they held on for the victory until the last minute, you understand, they could have been in pole position to finish second. And they could have, and now that Kylian Mbappe penalty goal in the last minute of the game saved Paris Saint-Germain's blushes. And it was not a penalty at all. It was not a penalty at all. I guess it goes with the fact that VAR, it's always based on the officials. Who's officiating the game? It's based on the officials. It's not based on the system. It's based on the officials. Because at the end of the day, the officials make the decisions. Some of the decisions are correct, some are not. And that one was way incorrect. Way incorrect. But hey, it saved PSG's blushes. And it's a must-win game for them as well, against Borussia Dortmund at the Signal Iduna Park in Germany. A must-win game for them. It's a must-win game. As well as also it's a must-win game for AC Milan as well as Newcastle. If any of these three teams are to join Borussia Dortmund into the knockout stages of the Champions League. Must-win game for them. So far, there's no French team that has qualified. And the French teams that are there that are also competing, Lens, they are far away from qualifying. Yes, they still stand an opportunity. You understand? They still stand an opportunity to do so. But it's very unrealistic. And as well as now, PSG, they don't seem like a team that is going to qualify. Yes, against Borussia Dortmund, a must-win game for them. But if they don't win and Newcastle win, or if AC Milan win, AC Milan just need to score 3 or 4 goals. They need to win by 3, but they need to win by 3 or 4 goals clear in that away game to the Magpies. It's possible, but highly unlikely. It's possible, but highly unlikely. At the St. James's Park, it's no easy feat for anybody. And yes, Sandro Tonali won't be available in that game against his former club, unfortunately, due to the fact that he has been banned. So he's out for the season. And then what? You know, Ousmane Dembele did have a great game. I think he was the game changer. He created that penalty. PSG were very woeful in front of goal. They had a lot of opportunities. Dembele was unlucky several times. Mbappe as well. Sometimes just trying to be too fancy. You know, trying to be too fancy when he was just supposed to put the ball into the back of the net. You know? But hey, I guess it's a great point for Paris Saint-Germain. It saved them from embarrassment once again. And now they stand a chance of still qualifying to the knockout stages. They must thank VAR and the referee for that decision. Yeah, it's part of football. Unlucky to Newcastle. Unlucky. Unlucky Newcastle. Group E. Group E. Yeah, Atletico Madrid. They cruise. They through. Atletico Madrid through to the next round. The 2014 and the 2016 runners-up are through once again, including Lazio. Lazio winning by 2-0 against Celtic. Ciro Immobile, super sub, coming off the bench. Yes, controversially, he was left out of the starting lineup, but he still came up with the goods. Getting a brace against Celtic. So Celtic's European adventure as well is also done and dusted. They stand no chance of qualifying even for the Europa League. It's done and dusted. They won't partake in the UEFA Champions League quarter knockout stages, as well as they stand no chance of even playing in the Europa League. So their European adventure for the 2023-2024 season is over. You understand? Yeah, they did show some signs in the game, but the quality lacked. They just lacked a bit of quality. They lacked a lot of quality. And great strike. I mean, Ciro Immobile, wonderful player, just broke a record again, becoming the first Lazio player to score 100 goals in the Serie A. You understand? It just keeps getting better and better for the veteran striker. It keeps getting better and better. Atletico Madrid, Lazio going through from Group E. Atletico, obviously, 11 points, and then Lazio, 10 points. So, a point difference. So, both teams would love to win the group. It's all to play for in the last game between both teams to see who will emerge as group winners. Atletico winning by 3-1 away to Feyenoord. They won by 3-1 away to Feyenoord. Very convincing victory for Atleti. But yeah, 2 own goals. 2 own goals for Feyenoord. Yeah, and yeah, man. We wait to see. Yeah, that's it for now, man. We'll be in touch pretty soon. Cheers. Okay, so Feyenoord, Atletico Madrid. Yeah, it was a must-win game for Feyenoord if they were gonna have any sort of hopes of qualifying for the UEFA Champions League knockout stages. The Dutch team, for like the first time in their history, but unfortunately it wasn't meant to be after succumbing to a 3-1 defeat to Atletico Madrid. Atletico Madrid took the lead in the 14th minute, and which was an unfortunate own goal by the Feyenoord captain, Dutch defender, Lucharel Gertruda, in the 14th minute. And then we saw the Spanish team double their lead in the 57th minute, thanks to a wonderful goal by Spanish defender Mario Hermoso. And then we saw Feyenoord did show some fight. They did show some fight and some vigor, which was kind of like a little too late in the 77th minute. Mats Wijfer getting his name onto the score sheet in the 77th minute. It was a great goal by the Dutch midfielder. But unfortunately, the game was put beyond any reasonable doubt. Their hopes of qualifying were dead and buried. Their hopes of qualifying for the Champions League knockout stages this season were dead and buried. After another own goal by an unlikely source, Santiago Jimenez, the Mexican striker. He often scores goals at the other end, not in his own goalkeeper's net. It was unfortunate though. It was a very unfortunate own goal. Very unfortunate, because think about it. Santiago Jimenez has had a wonderful season. Last season, he scored 15 goals in 32 appearances in the Dutch Eredivisie. Last season, 15 goals in 32 games. And this season, he has got 18 goals in 16 matches across all competitions this season. In the 2023-2024 season, he's got 18 goals in 16 matches across all competitions, which was unfortunate. It was just unfortunate he had to add another one, which was an own goal, where he normally scores most of his goals at the other end, not in his goalkeeper's net. You understand? And currently he's the top goal scorer in the Eredivisie, with a staggering 16 goals in 13 games in the Dutch Eredivisie. In this season's Champions League, he has got 2 goals. He has found the back of the net twice. So, yeah, he's had a wonderful season. And congrats to Atletico Madrid and Lazio. They have qualified for the UEFA Champions League knockout stages this season from Group E. and it's all to play for which team will win this group, will emerge as group winners between the Italian giants Lazio as well as the team from the Spanish capital, Atletico Madrid. Yeah, that's it for now, man. We'll be in touch pretty soon. Be back with more. Stay tuned. Yeah, sure.